Welcome to Face to Face, Connecting Theater Makers to the Public, a program from the Legacy Theater and socialdistancetheater.org. Hello and welcome to Face to Face. I am with my new guest. This is Laura from Kidz Konnection. Laura, can you tell us a bit about your organization and how you came into it?
Sure. Kidz Konnection has actually been around for 15 years now. And I had a degree in acting and theater from New York University and done some professional and semi-professional work in my younger years in New York and then Minnesota. And then when my husband and I moved here to Connecticut, I became a mom. So I kind of tabled my performing work. And when my daughters were about second, third grade, they sort of started inquiring, don't you do theater? And we're really interested. And at the time, you know, there wasn't a whole lot for young kids, even in the schools, at least in Clinton at that time. And so I started this little group. It was more of a play date session than anything. And before I knew it, within 2 years, we turned into a company. And by 4 years, we were a nonprofit. And the rest is history. So,
wow, that's fascinating.
Started with 5 kids, and now we serve close to 500.
So when you began this organization and you started, with your home literally, and then started branching out from there, now can you talk a bit about the towns that you cover and who's kind of represented?
Well, so we primarily, we actually are far-reaching. We have customers coming from all over the state of Connecticut right now. But the main group, the main demographic is coming from Westbrook, Old Saybrook, Guilford, Clinton, obviously, which is where we're based. Madison is a huge one, Branford, North Branford, mostly the shoreline towns. But then we do have fingers going up the Connecticut River. So we have a lot of kids from the Essex, Deep River area. And then there's probably about, maybe 3 or 5% that are actually coming from quite a distance, because we're really more of an academy now than just a theater company. So we offer everything from a Shakespeare class, which might only have 3 or 4 kids in it, to a large musical production, which generally runs about 90 to 100 kids.
And you have dance classes as well, I see.
Dance, we have everything from advanced tap to tap jazz to contemporary dance. And then we have our fight choreo, our stunt work. And then we have creative writing now, because we're online, which is going very well. So yeah, and then of course the acting classes on Friday. That's actually when we started 15 years ago, it was mostly acting, because that was my expertise. So it was improvisation and acting technique classes and playwriting classes, and it was always Fridays. So we've maintained that. So one of the neat things about Kidz Konnection is I've kept the schedule pretty much the same for all these years. So everybody knows Friday is improv day, Friday is acting day. Everybody knows Tuesdays and Thursdays are musical days. So it's easy for families who have siblings coming up the pike to understand the schedule, and that's why I think it works. It helps.
Fabulous. So talk a bit about some of the productions that you've done, because I see you were in full out productions, and you were 2 days before opening or 2 days after opening.
Yeah. So we're generally running about 11 productions a year right now, and it depends on the the style and what type of program. So the main productions that are big ones, the ones that we get 100 kids in, are our fall main stage and our spring main stage. And what we were just shut down was Matilda, the musical. It was our spring main stage. It had about 94 kids in it. And everything from ages 5 to 18, and full-length musical. And that was, all those main stages are done at the town hall across the street from our academy.
Beautiful facility.
Yeah, so that's in the Andrews Memorial Town Hall, the 2 of those shows. The fall show we did this year was, we actually did 2 big shows because Frozen came out. And Frozen was popular. So we did Frozen Junior, and then we also did the advanced musical on the main stage, which was, we did Chicago. So it kind of balanced out the kids who were older. They had that to go to. So those are our two big main stages. But the rest of our shows are done either as free summer theater on the lawn here in the Academy, which is hugely successful. And those are dealt with like a summer stock theater program. So every 2 weeks it shifts. So those are much smaller in venues, you know. It's more of a black box experience, outdoor theater. But those are for kids who are looking for something to do during the day. And so we do, you know, every 2 weeks starting right after July 4th, we start two back-to-back junior musicals. Then we have our Shakespeare in the Park. Then we have our cabaret, which is like a variety show. And then we also offer our advanced musical kids like to do like the evening thing where they get to hang out at night. So we have that running all summer long. So Shakespeare and the advanced musical this year is Anything Goes. They come in the evenings where they can kind of, you know, let loose and just be teenagers, you know. So it keeps us very busy all summer. So that's where a lot of those 11 shows come from, is that summer stock programming. And it's, yeah, we just keep rotating it every other Friday. And honestly, we started last year for the first year, and I had no idea it would be so successful. You know, free theater on the lawn. People bring their picnic dinners. We, you know, probably pack the lawn. 200, 300 people sometimes out stretching across the church lawn there. So that's been interesting.
Oh,
and then we have our small black box theaters right here in this academy. I'll show you.
Yes, please do. So tell us where this is located and where you are right now.
So this is the Academy building, which is across the street from the Clinton Town Hall, the Andrews Memorial Town Hall, and it's on the same green as the First Church of Christ Congregational Church. They are the landlords. We rent from them. We've been here 2 years now. Before that, we were actually in the Clinton Parkade, which is we were in the basement of where Chip's Pub is in Clinton.
Oh, yes.
We called it the Bohemian Basement. It was great, and I did not want to move. A lot of my kids were like, we can't move. We love the basement. But this has been a huge, huge move up for us. And very grateful to the First Church of Christ for welcoming us and making the rent affordable for our nonprofit organization, and so that we don't turn any child away ever. So everybody can participate that wants to.
And is it true that you are actually continuing your rehearsals and your classes and your huge schedule right now?
Yes. So we didn't want to stop doing, you know, a lot of production houses felt they needed to cancel their shows, and our kids are young and they work so hard, and just seeing how they felt very upset losing out on this opportunity, I just said, don't worry, we'll just keep running rehearsals and we'll make it work. And it's certainly been a challenge, but there's, you know, every time we get on Zoom, we try to figure out a new way to do it. But we plan to do Matilda, and all of our ticket holders, we sold out almost all our shows already, and they've been graciously understanding and supportive, and we'll wait it out with you, Miss Laura. So I'm hoping that we can wait it out. The first chance we get to be back on the stage, we'll run that. And then in the meantime, we had started our spring production shows. So we have Aladdin Junior and Aladdin Kids, because we separate the main stages into different groups. So that way, the main stages are meant to offer more of a leadership experience where it's intergenerational and kids understand what community means by all being together and working together on a common goal. But we also understand that kids have a desire to be with their age bracket. So that's when the late spring shows started becoming very popular. They do the main stage in the spring with the whole group, but then the late spring, we say, okay, we're going to break them apart. So we have the Aladdin Kids for K through 4th grade, and then Aladdin Junior, which is 4th grade to 8th grade. Those 4th graders kind of get to choose either way. And then the advanced musical this spring is Rock of Ages. Yay! And we have cast all of those shows. I think we lost maybe 3 kids. So we have about 200 kids right now gearing up. They're going to work on Zoom until we can be back in a physical space together. Our musical director is videotaping all the choreography and a lot of the lessons, and then putting them on Google Classroom so the kids can go to Google Classroom and watch the uploaded videos and study at home. And then we meet together. And then we also have our black boxes, which is why I was showing you this space. This is where we run our black box shows, which we do about 3 or 4 of those a year, which those are for a much smaller group of kids. They 8 to 12 kids. And that program is Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime right now.
Oh, good.
So that's with our EDGE group. Those are kids who call it Educate Through Drama, Grow Through Experience. And we had our rehearsal last night, and I got a chuckle out of it because I started saying, this is what I was talking to you earlier about, wanting to get some ideas from other creative people out there, because it would be great if there was like a chat room for artists like us to go in and say, this is what we tried, it didn't work, and this is what the kids felt, or different ideas and bubbling up. Because I was working on Curious Incident inside these squares, and I said, well, if we were to perform it inside these squares, the whole idea of Christopher's mind and the voices, this could be very interesting. Yeah. So having the kids play with, the voices, the voice 1, voice 2, voice 3, suddenly their faces come up, and look, we did the eyes, and, and then we made our screen go black, to show that.
That's fabulous. That's great. That's great. I wonder if once you do it live in your black box, if you'll create a screen version of that. Maybe if you record some of these effective rehearsals and then have, you'll have the image of it as it's live. Or maybe when we're done with Zoom, we'll be like, forget it. We'll light Zoom on fire when it's all over.
Well, our improv classes on Friday, they write little skits about how they're done with Zoom.
Yeah. I've got 5 kids at home, and they're all working on Zoom in their Google Classrooms and that sort of thing. And it's a learning curve, but yeah, we're, as anything, we're
we made it work. And one of the things that I've really loved about being with the kids through the remote experience is just the discovery how important, first of all, the arts are.
Yes.
To our young people. I mean, they thrive on it, and they actually are desperate for it more than ever now. In fact, we have social chats too. And, I'll just send out an email and say, okay, for in the next hour, anybody that's between, 15 and 18 that wants to get on Zoom, I'll be here. You can just come on in. And they all show up. It's 4th and 5th graders. They all show up. And they just love to talk about ideas and creatively what are they working on with their characters or at home.
What a resource you're providing, Laura. And it's not just through the organization that you've birthed and created and are, this 15 years later, but during this time, it's, you must have such a truly nurturing spirit to be able to take this scenario that we're in, realize how deeply necessary connection is. And that's what you are, Kidz Konnection, right? And to be able to do that in this way is what a resource and what a blessing you are. That's fabulous.
Thank you.
So how do you choose your shows? You've done so many over these years. What's your process for doing that?
Well, how we choose our shows is there's a variety of factors that are involved. One is, have I done it before?
Is that a yay or nay?
About 100 shows, more than that probably now, and I just don't want to. I like to try new things, so it's hard. It's getting harder and harder to keep looking. Getting a new show up there. If something comes up that's available, I grab the rights immediately so that I have a new show to work on. And like you said, some shows, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, I've now done twice, and I have to say it's maybe not my favorite of the shows we do. So you might not see that on our plate for a long time. So we try to find new material. That's the main thing. The other thing is to find material that we know the kids will be excited about, which, that's tricky because kids are more and more, sort of zoned into Disney and the same YouTube channels. And so they have a mindset of what they want. So that sometimes pigeonholes us into doing a lot of Disney, but it's popular. They love it. And, you know, I kind of joke with my Shakespearean kids, well, it's kind of like Shakespeare, you know, in his day, you know. He's just a show in a box. So, but when it comes to, you know, our EDGE programs, those are more where I look for shows that speak to my heart. Or when I read it, I think, you know, young people can really get some insight and can really struggle with certain social issues that in a way that's a little more creative and more hands-on than just thinking about it all the time. So we've done Flowers for Algernon, and we actually did a play that we wrote ourselves about World War II once, because the kids were interested in exploring other, you know, what it means to be a veteran. Sometimes we write our own work. And what else? I'm trying to think of the other black boxes that we've done. Wrinkle in Time, things that, you know, just kind of get you thinking. Or also kids often, some of the kids that come to Kidz Konnection are interested in English and literature, but they find sitting in a classroom difficult.
Sure.
And so I try to find literature-based work that when they really get involved in it, they learn the material in a much more hands-on way. So when they go back to their classrooms, they're more engaged.
That's great.
So,
tell me a bit about your staff. Are you a mighty fortress of one, or who works with you?
I was a mighty fortress of one until it just got to be like too much. So that's good. We've expanded a lot. We have my main employee right now is Maria Linetti, and she's our musical director. She started maybe 5-6 years ago now. She was the choreographer. I put an ad on the paper, and I said, I'm looking for a choreographer. And I was actually surprised. I had 12 or 14 responses. And being my first employee that I was really hiring for this reason, I was very cautious. We're, like I said, very bohemian here. And I'm not a traditional artist. I'm not a traditional musical director you might find in a public school. I like to really, you know, be creative and be sort of gritty and, you know, earthy, grainy with the material. And I love ideas, and I love, I love sitting down with someone going, well, what do you think about this? And, you know, let's hash it out, and getting kids together and saying, what do you think about this scene I just blocked? Do you like it? Oh no, why not? You know, what's wrong? And getting everyone's ideas. So I was looking for a specific type of person that would be able to handle all of that. And Maria was the perfect fit. She's been with me for years now. So she's moved on to doing all of the direction of our musicals. And I still direct all the EDGE programs because I like that, you know, smaller literature-based acting work. And then Sam Reed is one of our senior high school thespians who I brought up when he was 5. He's grown up in the company. And I taught him everything he knows about improvisation. Wow. So he now, and Chiro Falanga, who's also grew up with me, the two of them are our sort of assistant teachers who do all of our improvisation classes. And I joke with them, they're actually better at it than me now. So they teach great improvisation. So they do the improv. And then I have a new employee, Haley Haggerty, who does all of our desk work, our reception work, and she's doing our creative writing. She's studied playwriting. So she's been taking on some of those playwriting classes that we just started in creative writing.
Oh, sounds great. What a team. Well, go ahead.
And then I have the creative team, which is, that's the separate group. Those are the individuals that come in only for the shows. So we have a set designer, professional set designer, professional costume designer. We have the music director, like a voice director who comes in just for the big main stages and for the advanced musical work. And set, costume. Oh, and the lighting and the sound. We have people who do that. So there is a creative team that works on those bigger shows, and and they're almost all of them volunteer. So that's important to know. As a nonprofit, they know when they come in that, we're doing this for the kids, and the budget is going directly into putting on the most quality show we can, which can be very expensive, as you probably know. And so a lot of them come in and just give of their time and their energy, and they're just amazing. And all of them have been with me at least 7 years. Some have been with me the entire 15 years I've been here. So it just goes to show what kind of family unit we are, and how important I think they feel when they're here, that we can really be a group of creative artists that can work together.
Oh, that speaks volumes. It really does. So how do we find you? What's the website? How do we get in touch with you?
Yes, so KidzKonnectionCT .org, KidzKonnectionCT for Connecticut .org. That's how you get to me on the web. You can also email me at Kidz Konnection with a Z and a K, KidzKonnectionCT for Connecticut @gmail.com. That's my professional email account. Or you can call at 860-227-2363. And you can find us live streaming, like I said, on Facebook at Kidz Konnection Inc. INC. Also, we're on Instagram and Snapchat, so we're doing all of it. We're on all the platforms, and if you go to my website, everything is clearly laid out. The links to Zoom in. All of our classes at this time are free.
Wow.
And one of the things I was trying to, why I wanted to talk with you about this experience, is that I do feel that our kids need us more than ever during this period of social isolation. And so I feel that offering this free is the only way, because there's so much hardship and so many families struggling right now with their loss of their jobs, that we need to be here for the kids. And also because I think seeing 86 kids show up to a rehearsal that first day, which I did not expect, speaks volumes to how desperate our kids are to be connected as much as possible still, and how important we are in the lives of our kids, not just the arts, but just programs in general. Kids have had all these things to do, and now it's been taken away. So we need to just keep opening up as much as possible free. Kids are struggling as much as families are, as much as an adult is. And they kind of internalize it. They don't want to let their parents know that they're worried or stressed. They want to look like everything's fine and I'm cool, but they keep it pent up, and they should have a place. Emotion means motion, right? They need to have a place to come and be creative and express and emote and get all that out. So I want to be here for them. Go on my website, find the Zoom links, join us for anything free, and maybe come join us when it's all over. Either to come see a show free on the lawn this summer if we get back out there, yay, cross our fingers, or to just come and be part of a class here.
Oh, thank you, Laura. You are amazing. I'm so glad I got to know you through this, and I look forward to being in touch in the future. And thanks for being a light and for, creating the platform so that people can connect and share and continue creating.
It was great meeting you, Keely. And like I said, I hope we, keep in touch with me. And if anything comes up that there's a place to meet in a forum, let me know.
Absolutely. Will do. Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us on Face to Face. We would like to thank our sponsors, Oak Tree Development and the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven, and Brad Ross for the themed music. You can follow us on legacytheaterct.org.